Today's art challenge is going to be creating an illustration using the color palette from my Instagram account through a website that determines what that color palette is, called COLORKULER. Now, I've seen a couple of smaller YouTube channels do this, but the big art YouTuber, Casey Golden, she did this and I really enjoyed it. And I don't usually follow a lot of the art trends. I like to do my own stuff, unless I really want to do it. So I really want to do this. So let's go and see what my COLORKULER palette is, and then try and draw an illustration and color it with this color pad, this color palette. I haven't pre-looked first. I have just decided to do this. I hope that there is no pinks in my Instagram palette. So let's jump across to my computer and let's see what it is. Alright, so I am now at the COLORKULER website. So all you do now is just go to www.colorkuler.com. Colors spelt without the U, because I'm from Australia. We always have the U in words like favor and color, so it's COLORKULER. So remember that if you are Australian or if you're from the UK. I think they do the same thing. So anyway, so we put our username in here. So I do voodoo. I think, do you have to put the @ in? We'll just do that anyway. Alright, here we go. Please no pinks, please no pinks, please no pinks, please no pinks. Oh my god! Look at that color palette. Here is your Instagram color palette. You are light slate gray. Wow. Phew. I was sort of really worried that I was going to get pinks, but I tell you what, this color palette's going to be quite hard to work with. Yeah. Wow. All right, well, now that I've got my color palette, let's go back to my desk and let's try and get some of these colors. Okay, for this COLORKULER challenge, I am going to be not working digitally because I'm not a digital artist, and we'll go into that why I don't do any digital art sometime in the future. But I'm going to be doing this challenge traditionally, and it's probably not ideal, but I'm going to do it anyway, and I'm going to see how I go. So for this challenge, I'm going to be using a clean palette, which is shock horror. I can't believe I actually have a clean palette. I'm going to be using my Marte tubes so I can mix it up a little bit more easy. So I'm going to take some paper and I'm going to swatch them out and see how we go. I don't even know if this is going to work. This could be a complete bust. I don't know. You might not even see this video. Alright, so the first color is like a grey, like a, I don't know, like a in-between sort of grey. Like I'm in between a dark and a light. So I'm thinking, that's raw umber. What the? So I'm thinking, I'm trying to view this on my laptop and it's really hard to get that color variation in there because, I don't know, just the screen's really weird. But, okay, so we've got like, I don't know, it's weird. This palette is like a mixture of your cools and your warms. Like there's a warm sort of weird color in there, like a gray. I don't even know if it's a gray, it's like a beigey sort of color. So I think a lot of these base tones are going to have gray in them. I don't even know what I'm saying. But see, most of these grays have a little bit of blue in them, so we'll just run with that, shall we? What I might do is I might just put a bit of white there, because I do think that I'm going to be using a fair amount of white. So we'll mix the first one up. What I like about Payne's Grey too is the fact that it does have a lot of blue tint in it, which is really good. Alright, so I'm safe to say that that's fairly close to the color. It might be a little bit lighter. We might just do a little bit more white. That is our first color in the palette. Done. Second one is, I don't know what that is. It's nearly like a real beigey sort of color. Try and get back down there. It's like trying to shove paint's own poo back into its butt. This one's like predominantly white with a bit of, I'm just gonna mix some grey here. Seriously, I do not know my colour theory, so don't come for me. Alright, so I think this one is, I think we'll just like, it's not the darkest, the center one is the darkest, and it's actually got a bit of a blue sort of hue, but I'm pretty confident that, yeah, it's just the straight grey's Payne's Grey is the right color for that third from the top. So alright, so the next one down, which is a little bit, we'll go a little bit darker than this one maybe. We might just put a little bit in this one. Yep. I think we're onto something there, boys and girls. The middle one, the dark one, I'm just going to, Jesus, I need to use these more. I might just put a little bit of Prussian blue into this one here, because to me, from the, like what I see on my screen, it's more of a blue grey. I'm pretty happy with that. Yep, I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so the next one is a lighter version of this one. Now, the one below that, which is the seventh one, is even lighter again. Maybe we might just put some white in here and then add some grey to it. I'm thinking that might be the best way to do this. Now the next one's just basically white, so I'm just going to like put a bit of white there and then mix the tiniest bit of grey with it. And then the next one's sort of like a really sort of tealy colour, so we might just put a bit of tiniest bit of green down just to get that tealy sort of colour going on there. So we might just mix it with this one and then put a shitload of white in there. So I think I've done the shittiest mock-up and the shittiest swatches for these colors, but I've matched it as best as I could to the Instagram palette that I have. Yes, I didn't want to do it digitally because I'm not a digital artist. I don't get a lot of satisfaction from digital art as much as I do with traditional, so that's why I'm not doing it that way. Plus my knowledge isn't the best when it comes to doing an illustration in digital art. I haven't done it for so long. The only digital art that I do are my Etsy patterns, my Etsy toy patterns that I've got on Etsy. That's the only thing that I do digitally. I just don't want to do it. I'm a traditional artist. I am not a digital artist. I do want to do digital art in the future, but I don't want to do it right now. Like it's just not what I want to do, people. So hopefully that explains it. All right, so I got my sketchbook and we'll try and do some brainstorming with this. Get my chunky boy. Those colors, what's coming to mind? What's coming to mind? I'm going to take the first idea that pops into my brain, which is kind of scary, kind of earthy. Maybe, oh, here we go. This has just popped into my head. How about something carnival related? Don't ask me how I come up with that conclusion with those color palettes, but anyway, I'm sort of thinking, wow, I'm sorry, just have to show you how much it's raining again. Before we got this lot of rain, we hadn't had rain here where I live for about 6 months. So we've been getting a lot of rain lately. And I've been having to put a lot of chemical in that pool because it's, I have to get that pool checked every week now because of all the rain we're getting. So this is really, really good. And I hope that the fire people are getting rain as well, like that have had the fires down south. So I'm thinking carnival. I'm thinking a little boy. Maybe sitting on a carnival ride, just hanging on to there, and it's a horse or something. It could be something else. And this arm's thrown back because he's got something in his hand. I don't know what. But the carnival ride is not attached to anything. So he's just floating in air. Arm is back with something in his hand, and he's just a boy, and he's having a great time. He's having a great time. Obviously the legs are gonna be like that, and then they're gonna be like that. So I didn't really want a side view. Maybe we bring him around to more like on a 3/4. The horse is like here. And so we've got the legs coming like that. I like this idea better, definitely. With the kid on the 3/4 angle, that, and then we've got the mane coming down like that, I assume. Let's put big eyes on the horse, and I'm gonna do both the legs bent. God, this is a mess. Thank God it's a sketchbook. We'll have something coming down that he puts his foot on. I'll have to work that out later. I'll also make this leg like that, with a tail that goes up. We want sort of, I want the pole to be here, but I'm going to be hiding his face, so I'm going to have to work that out as well. So we might have to we'll sit him back a bit further so you can see his face. Yeah, I'm happy to start sketching this onto paper, so let's go. So I pulled out my Strathmore paper. I haven't used this paper in an extremely long time, and I was just feeling it for this illustration. So this is probably one of very few very long videos that I'm going to be doing, but I really wanted to really document the process on how I do everything with this particular illustration that I was doing with this COLORKULER, and it just sort of felt right. So you will really see me really work on my process with this video, and that's what I wanted to show everybody really. And you'll see me rub the pencil sketch out a lot, because I really when it comes to the 3/4 poses, I really struggle with trying to get them right, and I did the boy's leg a whole heap of different ways, and I just rub it out. So this is the kind of internal battle that I go through, and I only assume all artists go through this sort of battle. So I just really wanted to just show every little bit of detail, so that's why this video is so long. Now I switch over here to my coloured erasable pencil here, because I have gone through a bit of art funk at the moment, and this pencil has pulled me out of it. And I really enjoy using this pencil. And it's I don't know, there's just something, you know how you get certain art supplies or certain things that just, I don't know, every time you pick them up, everything just sort of flows and just happens. Well, that's what I've been having with this red pencil, so that's why I am using it, and that's why I switched over to it, because I sort of was struggling a little bit with the mechanical pencil, and then as soon as I swapped over to this red pencil, I was in a good path. I was on a very good path. So I just continued on sketching out everything, and you'll see that I rub out the face. The face was looking a little bit too froggy, so I end up designing his face a little bit different later on. But I really, I don't know, this piece sort of was just such a different sort of piece than I would usually do, and I sort of felt really good about this thing right from the start. And I had, like all of my illustrations, I go through a touch and go period where I don't think it's going to turn out the way that I envisioned it, but it actually does in the end, and I am very happy with this piece, and I'm just happy that I am moving through my art funk, as I knew I would, but I just hate going through it because I just hate feeling uninspired. So basically now I went back over the red sections with more detail with the mechanical pencil. So I'm kind of like working sort of similar to the layers in digital art, where you do the bottom layer and then you sort of like make it a little bit like faded, although I didn't do that with the red, and then you go over the top of that with the more sort of structured detailed sort of pen. And that's what I did here, and it's sort of, in a way, it was a good idea and it was a bad idea, because I couldn't erase the red pencil a lot. It was very ghosted on the paper, and there's some of that I regret, but all in all, it's not too bad. Most of it did rub off, except for just the top part on the stick that he's holding in his left hand. That top part, there's a bit of red there, but just don't look at that. just don't look at that at all. So now I go in with the biggest Pigma Micron fine liner that I have, which is an 8 to 0.8. And I really wanted some bold lines on this illustration. So that's why I opted for that one. I just really was just going for a real cartoon illustration type feel. And yeah, I don't know what you call that sort of drawing, but yeah, I really just wanted it bold and sort of right there in front of you. I can't get the sentence out, so I'm sort of struggling with my words as I always do. But I'll think of it later. Yeah, it always comes to me later, and then I do a face palm because then I've already edited and rendered the video and then put it up. So, but that's just how it goes. But yeah, it's probably there's really no story to this one other than it's just a crazy boy, and he's sitting on a horse that's, you know, that's attached to a merry-go-round or a carousel, whatever you call it. And he's got this thing in his hand where they're looking at each other, like the horse is looking at him, even though the horse is not like supposed to be alive. It's sort of come to life, and they are going to cause some grief. That's what they're going to do. They're going to cause mischief with this weapon that they have. And hey, it could be the boy, he could be just at a carnival with his parents and he's fantasizing, like, you know how you go into like a daydream and you fantasize about like what you're doing and stuff like that. And he's just jumped on this horse on this carousel, and yeah, he's having a great time. So what I'm going through now, before I started to paint, was I started to actually number each section like a paint by numbers, just so I sort of mapped out where the colors was going to be. And this took me about 10 minutes or about 10-15 minutes to do, because I really wanted to make sure that I put all the colors in the places that I really wanted to put them in. And that was very brain hurting stuff because to use all 9 colors and try and put them into this piece was a little bit hard. But when I looked at that horse and I looked at the teal color, I knew exactly at that moment that I wanted to do that horse, that really pale pastel teal color. And then I wanted to do the dark mane, and then all the rest of it sort of fell into place around it. And I was really happy that I mixed up that color. Like there was that beigey color for skin color, so I could put that on the boy. And yeah, so I just started laying down all the colors, and like I said, I really enjoyed doing this illustration. Like it was a pretty big job. Like was filming this whole video, I'd done it straight from the morning and just done it, like just kept going through the whole day. This video took a whole day to make. So hopefully you enjoy it, because it took me a whole day to make it. Now, I do have a few angle issues that I have noticed with this piece, like his leg's okay. Like I think I did an okay job on trying to capture that 3/4 look, but I don't know, like his it looks like he has no butt and half his legs just chopped off because of the seat and the way I had the seat. And I sort of didn't realize that until I started painting it, and I realized that area there looks a little bit funny. And I wasn't entirely happy with that part, but I don't know, all in all, I think the whole thing does work, and it does look okay if you don't sort of really study it and you don't get really technical with it. Well, that's my theory anyway. But what I had to do, because these, because I'm not used to mixing up tube watercolors, I did struggle with getting like a light wash, so I really ended up making a lot of it quite thick, so it was kind of like gouache a little bit. So what I had to do once I had finished the painting part of it, I had to go back over the whole illustration with my number 0.8 fine liner, Pigment Micron, and I had to outline the whole picture again because the lines were extremely murky and there was no bold popping lines anymore. So you will see, like, I did that off camera because that was extremely time consuming, and I thought, well, that's going to be quite boring and I didn't want to bore you guys with doing all the line art, so I did that off camera. That's the only thing I did off camera. But yeah, everything else that you see, I haven't cut any of this. This is everything I have thrown into this video that I did with extremely minimal cutting of the whole filming process. Just sped it up so you guys can see all the little details and everything that I have done for this illustration. And when I got to the shading, I did the shading with just the Payne's Grey. It's sort of, when I shaded in the legs of the horse that were more in the background, it kind of went a little bit muddy, which I don't mind. Like I've said in the past in my videos, I don't mind the muddy look, but this illustration, I really did not want that. I did not want that muddy look, so it was, yeah, it was a little bit hard to control that side of things. But I think all in all, it's, yeah, it looks alright. Like I said, I really did enjoy this illustration. It was so fun to work with my Instagram colors and to have that limited palette that I could only use on an illustration, and it was just so fun and it was just really enjoyable, and I highly recommend everyone out there jump on COLORKULER.com and get your Instagram colors and do a drawing and use that color palette. I even recommend doing it traditionally because this was really fun to mix up the paints. You can do it digitally if you want, but yeah, I really got a kick out of doing it traditionally and trying to match those colors. Now, I don't know how good I did match the colors. I don't think I did that great a job, but hey, it's still the principle of it all. It's still similar colors to what I did. I think I did a not too bad job for not knowing how to really mix colors. So anyway, hopefully you enjoyed this really creepy illustration, and because the colors make it really creepy. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.